What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and your desires is not money, not connections, not luck, but simply a feeling? What if I could prove to you that every single limitation in your life is nothing more than a feeling you've been carrying? Stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to reveal the one secret that has transformed more lives than any other principle known to man. And by the end of this, you'll never look at your life the same way again. Tonight, I will teach you how to feel it real. I will show you the simple, divine secret behind every miracle, every manifestation, every transformation that has ever taken place in the life of man. This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is the very mechanism by which reality operates. You do not need more power. The power is already within you. You do not need more time. Time is only the servant of your inner conviction. You do not even need to know how it will come to pass, for the bridge of incidents will form itself the moment you feel it as real. What you need is to feel it. Feel what? The wish fulfilled. Most men and women pray, they hope, they beg, they wait, they attend seminars, read books, try technique after technique, but few ever feel. And here's what I want you to understand. To feel is to become. To feel is to fuse your inner world with the outer one. The outer responds to the inner, and the inner is ruled by feeling. The nature of God is this. God is not some faraway being in the sky, sitting on a throne, judging your worthiness. God is your own wonderful human imagination. When you learn how to feel something as though it were already so, you awaken God within, and God responds to his own nature. God creates by imagining, and when he imagines lovingly, he creates life, beauty, abundance, joy. So must you. You are not separate from the Creator. You are the Creator, asleep to your own power. But tonight I intend to awaken you. But before I go further, let me ask you this. How many times have you wished for something so desperately, prayed for it, visualized it, yet it never came? How many times have you wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract what they want, while you struggle? Well, I'm about to show you exactly why that happened, and more importantly, how to make sure it never happens again. The answer will shock you. I have said it many times. The world is yourself pushed out. What you believe, what you accept as true, what you feel with conviction, that hardens into fact. The law is always working, always producing what you are in the depth of your soul. Listen carefully. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of economy, politics, other people, or fate. You are the operant power in your own experience. Every single thing that has ever happened to you, you attracted through your state of consciousness. If your life is filled with lack, you are feeling lack. If your life overflows with blessings, you are feeling blessed. If you experience drama and conflict, you are in a state of drama and conflict. If you know peace and harmony, you are dwelling in peace and harmony. The world cannot help but mirror back to you the vibration, the state, the assumption you carry in your being. It has no choice in the matter. It is law. Every man and woman lives in a state. What is a state? A state is a collection of thoughts, feelings, and assumptions that create your inner atmosphere. You might be in the state of poverty or the state of abundance, the state of loneliness or the state of love, the state of sickness or the state of health. Whatever state you occupy most frequently becomes your dwelling place, and your dwelling place determines your experience. You don't have experiences and then develop feelings about them. You have feelings, and then you have experiences that match those feelings. This is why two people can go through the identical situation and have completely different experiences. One person loses their job and feels defeated, worried, anxious. Another person loses their job and feels excited, liberated, ready for something better. Guess which one finds a better opportunity quickly? Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds too simple. This can't possibly work. If it were this easy, wouldn't everyone be doing it? But let me share with you several stories that will change your mind forever. These are real people, real situations, real transformations. And after you hear these, you'll understand why most people don't do this. and why you will. A woman once came to me, desperate to be reunited with her estranged husband. They had been separated for over a year. She had tried everything: letters, phone calls, showing up at his workplace, pleading with his family. Nothing worked. In fact, the more she tried, the more he seemed to pull away. She was in a state of desperation, lack, and separation. Every action she took from that state only reinforced the separation she was trying to bridge. I said to her, "Do you still love him?" She said, "Yes, with all my heart." "Then assume he loves you too, and that you are already together." She looked at me as if I had asked her to climb Mount Everest blindfolded. "But how can I assume that when he won't even talk to me?" I told her, "The facts are not the truth. The facts are simply the reflection of your former state. You have been living in the state of separation, and so separation is what you see. If you want to see reunion, you must first become the woman who is already reunited. Tonight, before sleep, imagine him holding you, telling you he loves you, telling you he's sorry, planning your future together. Feel it as though it were happening now. Don't just see it. Live it. Breathe it. Feel every emotion you would feel if it were actually happening." She did it, though reluctantly at first. Every night, she would lie in bed and enter that scene. She felt his arms around her. She heard his voice saying, "I love you. I'm sorry. Let's make this work." She felt the relief, the joy, the gratitude of being back together. Within a week, she began to feel different. She stopped calling him, stopped trying to force contact. She felt peaceful, confident, loved. And in that new state, something remarkable happened. The next week, he called her, not to argue, not to discuss logistics, but to say he missed her. By the end of the month, they were back together, and they've been happily married ever since. What changed? Not him. Her feeling changed. She moved into a new state, and the world, including him, had no choice but to mirror it. Another man came to me longing for a better job. He had been in the same position for 8 years, watching others get promoted while he remained overlooked. He felt unworthy, stuck, invisible. But here's what he didn't realize. He was living in the state of being overlooked. Every day, he went to work feeling overlooked, expecting to be overlooked, and sure enough, he was overlooked. His feeling was creating his experience. I said, "You are not stuck. You are only stuck in your feeling. The moment you change your feeling, your world must change." I instructed him to construct a scene that would imply his desire had already been fulfilled. He imagined shaking the hand of a new employer, hearing the words, "You're hired," and feeling the pride and excitement of a significant promotion with double the salary. But here's the key. I told him not to just imagine it once or twice. I told him to live in that scene every night before sleep until it felt more real than his current circumstances. Every night, he entered that scene. He felt the firm handshake. He heard the congratulations. He felt the weight of responsibility and the thrill of new challenges. He imagined telling his wife the good news, planning what they would do with the extra income, feeling proud and accomplished. After 2 weeks of this, something shifted in him. He began to carry himself differently at work. He spoke with more confidence. He took on additional responsibilities without being asked. He was no longer the man waiting to be promoted. He had become the man who was already promoted. Within a month, his current company offered him a significant promotion. But even more remarkably, a company he had never even contacted, a company he had only heard about through a friend of a friend, reached out to him with an offer for exactly the position he had been imagining, at exactly the salary he had been feeling. What changed? Not the word. His feeling changed. He stopped being the man who waited and became the man who had. But here's where most people make a critical mistake that keeps them stuck in the same old patterns forever. They do this one thing wrong, and it sabotages everything. It's so subtle that they don't even realize they're doing it. And once I tell you what it is, you'll probably recognize that you've been doing it too. The mistake is this. They feel the desire, not the fulfillment. They feel the wanting, not the having. They feel the lack, not the abundance. When they imagine their desire, They imagine it from the perspective of someone who doesn't have it yet. They feel excited about the possibility, hopeful that it might happen, desperate for it to come. But all of these feelings, excitement about possibility, hope for the future, desperation for change, are feelings of lack. And the law gives you more of what you feel. If you feel lack, you get more lack. If you feel wanting, you get more wanting. If you feel hoping it will come, you get more hoping, but not the actual fulfillment. You must feel from the end, not to the end. You must feel as though you already have what you desire, not as though you're trying to get it. Let me make this distinction crystal clear, because this is where most people get lost. If you desire wealth, most people imagine having wealth and feel excited about the possibility. But excitement about possibility is still a feeling of not having. Instead, you must imagine having wealth and feel the natural calm satisfaction of someone who has always been wealthy. If you desire love, most people imagine finding love and feel hopeful and eager. But hope and eagerness are feelings of lack. Instead, you must imagine being loved and feel the quiet confidence and contentment of someone who has always been loved. If you desire health, most people imagine getting healthy and feel relief and gratitude. But relief implies you were sick, and gratitude for future healing implies you're still sick now. Instead, you must imagine being healthy and feel the natural vitality and well-being of someone who has always been healthy. The feeling must be natural, easy, assumed, not excited, not grateful, not relieved, but natural, the way you feel about things you take for granted. Now, what if you feel fear? What if you feel doubt? What if negative thoughts keep creeping in and sabotaging your efforts? Here's exactly what you need to do. And it's not what most people think. Most people try to fight the negative feelings, but that actually makes them stronger. I'm going to show you a much more elegant solution. Do not resist negative feelings. Do not fight them. Do not try to push them away. Resistance gives them power. Instead, acknowledge them gently and then redirect. Feelings are not enemies. They are messengers. If you feel fear, it means you are imagining something you do not want. If you feel doubt, it means you are focusing on the current facts instead of the desired truth. So when fear or doubt arises, simply say, "Thank you for showing me what I'm imagining. Now I will imagine something different." Then gently withdraw your attention from the fearful scene and construct a new one. Enter the feeling of safety, of confidence, of calm, but don't try to force it. Let it be natural, easy. Here's a technique that works beautifully. Instead of trying to feel confident about your desire, feel confident about the law itself. Instead of trying to feel certain that your specific desire will manifest, feel certain that the law always works. This takes the pressure off your specific desire and puts your faith in the principle itself. And when you have faith in the principle, your desires manifest effortlessly. Remember, no feeling lasts unless you sustain it. Sustain only what you want. And if unwanted feelings arise, don't fight them. Simply choose again. Let me teach you about assumption, because this is the cornerstone of all creation. An assumption is something you accept as true without proof. Every day, you make thousands of assumptions. You assume the sun will rise tomorrow. You assume your car will start. You assume people understand you when you speak. These assumptions feel natural because you've never questioned them. And because you assume them naturally, they manifest effortlessly in your experience. The secret is to make the same natural assumptions about your desires. Assume your desire is already fulfilled. Assume it so naturally that you stop looking for evidence. Assume it so completely that you stop worrying about it. When you truly assume something, you don't think about it constantly. You don't check for signs. You don't worry about timing. You simply know it's true, the way you know the sun will rise tomorrow. So here's your assignment. And this is where the magic really begins. I want you to do this one simple practice starting tonight. But I must warn you, this practice is so simple that most people will dismiss it. They'll think it's too easy to work. Don't make that mistake. The most powerful truths are always the simplest. Choose one desire, just one for now. Make it something specific and important to you, but not something that feels completely impossible. We want to build your faith gradually. Now create a scene that would imply your desire is already fulfilled. This scene should be short, no more than 10-15 seconds. It should be something that could only happen if your desire were already real. For example, if you want a specific job, imagine your first day at that job, shaking hands with your new colleagues. If you want a relationship, imagine lying in bed next to your ideal partner, hearing them say, "Good morning, beautiful." If you want financial abundance, imagine checking your bank balance and seeing the amount you desire. If you want health, imagine your doctor saying, "Your test results are perfect." The scene must imply fulfillment, not process. Don't imagine the interview. Imagine already having the job. Don't imagine the first date. Imagine already being in love. Don't imagine making money. Imagine already having money. Now here's how you practice. Every night before sleep, when your mind is naturally relaxed and receptive, enter the scene. Don't just visualize it. Inhabit it. Make it real in your imagination. Feel the emotions you would feel if it were actually happening. Hear the tones. Feel the textures. Smell the scents. Engage all your senses. Make it vivid and real. But most importantly, feel the naturalness of it. Don't feel excited or grateful or relieved. Feel natural, as though this is simply how your life is. Return to this scene night after night until it feels familiar, comfortable, natural. Sleep in that assumption. Let it be the last thing on your mind before you drift off. But the practice doesn't end when you wake up. Throughout the day, whenever you think about your desire, think from it, not to it. If someone asks about your situation, speak from the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, not in a way that's dishonest or delusional, but in a way that's aligned with your inner knowing. For example, if you're manifesting a new job and someone asks how work is going, instead of complaining about your current situation, you might say, "Actually, things are really shifting for me. I'm excited about some new opportunities that are opening up." This isn't lying. It's speaking from the state of already having what you want. And when you speak from that state consistently, reality rushes to match your words. But here's the part that will either make or break your success with this technique. Most people miss this completely, and it's the difference between those who manifest quickly and those who struggle for years. It has to do with something called living in the end versus living in the bridge. Let me explain what this means and why it's absolutely crucial. Most people, when they start practicing this work, become obsessed with the how. They start looking for signs, trying to figure out the steps, planning the process. This is called living in the bridge. But you are not called to build the bridge of incidents. You are not supposed to figure out how your desire will manifest. Your job is simply to live in the end, to assume it's already done and let the universe figure out the how. When you live in the bridge, you're actually telling the universe that you don't trust it to handle the details. You're trying to control the process instead of controlling only your state. Here's what happens when you live in the bridge. You start to force things. You become pushy, desperate, controlling. You make decisions from fear instead of faith, and usually you end up pushing your desire further away. But when you live in the end, something magical happens. You relax, you trust, you let go of the need to control how it happens, and focus only on knowing that it will happen. From this relaxed state, you make different choices. You speak differently, you act differently, and most importantly, you attract different circumstances and people who are aligned with your desired end. This brings us to one of the most misunderstood concepts in manifestation: detachment. Most people think detachment means not caring about your desire, but that's not it at all. True detachment means being unattached to the specific way your desire manifests. It means being open to receiving your desire in ways you never expected, from sources you never imagined, through circumstances you never planned. When you're attached to the how, You limit the universe to only the ways you can think of. But the universe is infinitely more creative than your conscious mind. It can orchestrate circumstances and coincidences that would never occur to you. So assume the end, but stay flexible about the means. Know that it's done, but stay open to how it's done. Let me tell you more about the bridge of incidents, because understanding this will give you tremendous faith and patience. The bridge of incidents is the series of events that leads you from your current state to your desired state. These events often seem random, unconnected, or even challenging, but in hindsight you'll see that each one was perfectly orchestrated to bring you to your desired end. For example, you might be manifesting a new relationship. The bridge of incidents might include running into an old friend who invites you to a party, getting stuck in traffic that makes you late to the party so you arrive at exactly the right time, spilling a drink on someone which starts a conversation, that person introducing you to their friend who becomes your ideal partner. None of these events would seem connected or meaningful as they're happening. The traffic jam would seem like an annoyance. Spilling the drink would seem like embarrassment. But in hindsight, you'll see that each event was essential to the final outcome. This is why you must not judge by appearances. This is why you must not get discouraged when things seem to go wrong. What looks like a detour might actually be the most direct path to your desire. Now I want to share with you the most powerful technique I know for maintaining your desired state, especially when circumstances seem to contradict what you're assuming. This technique alone has helped thousands of my students manifest seemingly impossible things. It's called the revision technique, and it's about to change everything for you. At the end of each day, before you go to sleep, mentally replay your day. But don't just remember what happened. Revise it to align with your desired state. If someone was rude to you, revise the memory so they were kind. If you felt poor during the day, revise those moments so you felt abundant. If you felt lonely, revise it so you felt loved and connected. This isn't about lying to yourself or denying reality. This is about taking control of the meaning you assign to events. This is about refusing to let the outer world dictate your inner state. When you revise your day, you're not changing the past. You're changing the impression those events made on your consciousness. And since your consciousness creates your future, changing these impressions literally changes what's coming. Make this a daily practice. Every night, revise your day to align with the person you're becoming. Feel how that person would have experienced each situation. This will accelerate your transformation dramatically. There's another practice I want to teach you, something I call taking the mental Sabbath. Just as your body needs rest, your mind needs rest from effort and striving. Once you've planted the seed of your desire through feeling, there comes a time to rest, a time to stop thinking about it, stop planning for it, stop looking for signs of it, a time to simply trust that the law is working. This mental rest is not indifference, it's confidence. It's the quiet knowing that what you felt in faith must come to pass. Most people never take this mental Sabbath. They plant the seed and then immediately dig it up to check if it's growing. They assume their desire and then spend all day worrying about when it will manifest. But the law works in the silence. It works when you're not watching. It works when you've forgotten about it because you've become so natural in your assumption that you no longer need to think about it. Learn to rest in your assumption. Learn to forget about your desire because you know it's already yours. But what about timing? This is the question I get asked more than any other. How long will it take? When will I see results? The answer might surprise you, and it has everything to do with something I call Sabbath time versus Caesar's time. Understanding this distinction will save you from months or even years of unnecessary waiting. There are two kinds of time, Caesar's time and Sabbath time. Caesar's time is chronological time, minutes, hours, days, years. Sabbath time is psychological time, the time it takes for your assumption to feel natural. Most people try to manifest in Caesar's time. They plant the seed today and expect to see the harvest tomorrow. But the law works in Sabbath time. It manifests when your assumption becomes natural, regardless of how much chronological time has passed. I've seen people manifest in days, and I've seen people take years. The difference isn't the size of their desire or their level of faith. The difference is how quickly they can make their new assumption feel natural. If you can assume something and immediately feel natural about it, it will manifest quickly. If it takes time for the assumption to feel natural, it will take more time to manifest. This is why it's often easier to manifest for others than for yourself. When you imagine good things for people you love, you don't have resistance. You don't have old beliefs to overcome. The assumption feels natural immediately. But when it's your own desire, you might have years of contrary evidence to overcome. You might have deep beliefs about your unworthiness or limitation. These beliefs make your new assumption feel unnatural, which slows down the manifestation. The key is patience with yourself and persistence in your assumption. Keep returning to the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it becomes your natural state. As you practice this work, you'll begin to notice signs that your assumption is working. These signs might be subtle at first: a relevant conversation, a meaningful coincidence, a shift in your own thoughts and feelings. Don't become obsessed with signs, but do acknowledge them with gratitude. They're evidence that the law is working, that your assumption is taking root in consciousness. Sometimes the signs come quickly, sometimes slowly. Sometimes they're obvious, sometimes subtle. The timing and nature of signs doesn't determine the timing of your manifestation. It's simply the universe's way of encouraging you to persist. Remember, the sign follows the assumption, not the other way around. Don't wait for a sign to believe. Believe first, through feeling, and the signs will follow. Before we finish, I want to address the biggest obstacle that stops most people from succeeding with this work. It's not what you think it is. It's not lack of faith. It's not negative thinking. It's not past trauma. It's something much more subtle, and once you recognize it, you'll be free of it forever. The biggest obstacle most people face is not believing they deserve what they want. Deep down, they don't feel worthy of their desires. And the law cannot give you what you don't feel worthy to receive. This is why you must not just assume your desire is fulfilled. You must assume you are the kind of person who naturally has such things. You must assume your worthiness along with your desire. If you're manifesting wealth, you must not just feel wealthy. You must feel worthy of wealth. If you're manifesting love, you must not just feel loved. You must feel lovable. If you're manifesting success, you must not just feel successful. You must feel deserving of success. Often, this means doing some inner work. It means forgiving yourself for past mistakes. It means releasing old stories about why you can't have what you want. It means choosing to see yourself as God sees you, perfect, whole, and worthy of every good thing. This inner work isn't separate from manifestation. It is manifestation. When you change how you see yourself, you change what you can receive. As you practice this work, you're not just manifesting things. You're manifesting a new identity. You're becoming the person who naturally has what you desire. This transformation happens gradually, day by day. As you return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you shed the old self and put on the new. You begin to think differently, speak differently, act differently. Others will notice the change before you do. They'll comment that something is different about you. You seem more confident, more peaceful, more magnetic. This is evidence that your inner work is taking effect in the outer world. Embrace this transformation. Don't cling to the old identity, even if it feels familiar. The old you couldn't have what you want. That's why you're changing. The new you can have anything, because the new you knows the secret. Feeling is the secret. Let me leave you with this one eternal truth that will change everything if you truly understand it. You are not learning how to get things. You are learning how to be things. You are not learning how to manipulate the world. You are learning how to transform yourself. When you transform yourself, when you change your inner state, the world must transform to match. It has no choice. It is law. Nothing is more powerful than your feeling, not circumstance, not logic, not the opinions of others, not your past, not your current situation. If you would only dare to feel your wish fulfilled, persist in it, surrender to it, embody it, then no force on earth could stop its manifestation. You are not here to beg from life. You are here to command it, not through effort or force, but through the silent authority of feeling. That feeling is your prayer, your seed, your creation. And when you honor it with belief, when you live from it as though it were already so, the universe must obey. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of law. The world is yourself pushed out. Change yourself and you change your world. Feel differently and you experience differently. Assume a new state and enter a new reality. So feel it now. Feel it deeply. Choose one desire and feel it as already fulfilled. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for better circumstances. Don't wait until you feel more worthy. Feel it now. And never forget, the world will always reflect what you dare to feel is real. The feeling is the secret. And now you know the secret. Your new life begins the moment you choose to feel it real. That moment can be right now. If this teaching has awakened something within you, I want you to do 3 things. First, like this video so others can find this truth. Second, subscribe and ring the bell, because I'll be sharing more advanced techniques in upcoming videos. And third, this is the most important. Tell me in the comments, what is the one thing you're going to start feeling as real tonight? Your commitment in writing will help anchor this truth in your consciousness. Remember, you have the power. You always have had the power. Tonight, you have learned to use it.